This is the eBear, and it's made by a company called Avid in the northeast. It's a little bit of a different setup to some of the other electric buggies, like the Polaris for example. It's got two electric motors, one to drive the front wheels, which is sort of positioned in the middle of the buggy, and then it's got a separate one at the back that drives the rear wheels. It's got 8 batteries that sit in the middle underneath the seats. There's a transformer box that you mount in the workshop, and that's got a lead that you just plug into this 5-pin socket on the side. We think it looks pretty good. It looks a bit like the Cub Cadet buggy that we've tested before. It's got this fairly smart red bodywork. It's got 2 seats, which is unlike some of the other buggies, which have got the bench seats, because it's got space for the batteries and the motor in the middle. But it's pretty comfortable. It's got a tipping rear body, which is quite nice and low. But it does have the wheel arches that stick into the back, which can take up the space a little bit. The tailgate is a bit on the flimsy side. You wouldn't really want to sit on that because it's got these quite flimsy cords at the side and not particularly tough hinges, but it should be fine for light work. Right, the interior, we've got this this tunnel in the middle here, which takes up a bit of space. So you don't have a bench seat, so you can only get 2 people in. The handbrake is a bit of a fiddle because you've got to get your thumb on it. You almost take the skin off your thumb every time you take the handbrake off, which is a bit of an oversight there. Forward, neutral and reverse, you select on these little buttons here. And then there's a blister pad here for all of the other controls. Glove box, which has a key in it, which is a bit of a fiddle sometimes. You've got to keep the key in there. But it's still useful storage space. I'll just see if I can start it. There's a little bit of a routine that you have to go through to get this one going. Right, so to start it, you turn on the ignition, and then there's a security code on this one, so you just press 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you press the start button. Then you take the handbrake off, and with your foot on the brake, press forward or reverse, and then a little light comes on there to tell you're in the right gear. And when you put your foot down, it really takes off quickly, and it sort of makes a whir a little bit like a milk float or an airport baggage handling trolley. But really, it's got a good turn of speed. We're going straight up to 29, 30 kilometers an hour, and there is quite a loud whirring noise, but it's much quieter than you get in a diesel buggy. Right, we're in high range now, so it does have a low range as well, which gives you a lot more torque. And to engage that, you just press and hold the forward button with your foot on the brake, and then the light comes on to say that you're in low range, and then you can go off, and that's really the range you want to be in for towing work. So the Avid, it's not the most powerful buggy on test, it's not the fastest buggy on test, and to be honest, it's not the best made buggy on test. But for general farm use, for driving around, getting from place to place and doing light work, it's more than adequate. We did a full day's work with it yesterday, and it only started to run out of charge at the end of the day. So really, if you're not doing heavy work and you're not doing long days, this could easily replace a diesel or petrol alternative and be much cheaper to run.